Welcome, Spicy Lady. There is a type of man that most people struggle to reach. He doesn't ask for help. He doesn't talk about how he is feeling. He has built his life around handling everything on his own. His problems, his pain, his fears, all of it. Because somewhere along the way, he decided that needing people was the same as being weak. And being weak was the one thing he refused to be. He is capable. He is strong. He is the person everyone else leans on, and he is quietly caring more than anyone around him knows. And then he meets the SpicyLady-Sigma. And something in him, something that has been locked up for a very long time, starts to breathe again. Not because she tries to save him. Not because she shows up with a plan to fix everything that is broken in him. Not because she performs some version of unconditional love designed to make him feel better, but because the SpicyLady-Sigma is simply, quietly, and completely different from anyone he has ever encountered. And for the first time in a long time, he feels genuinely seen by someone who wasn't trying to see him at all. She is not a saint. She is not perfect. She is real and complicated and human in all the ways that matter. But for a tough man who has been carrying the world alone, she is the closest thing to an angel he is ever going to meet. 9 things. Real life. No bluff. Let's get into it. Welcome back. And if you're new here, welcome. This is a channel for women who think differently, feel deeply, and live fully on their own terms. Real conversations, no sugarcoating, no performance, just the honest truth about what the SpicyLady-Sigma carries and what she gives to this world in ways most people never fully see. If that is the channel you've been looking for, subscribe right now because this community is built for exactly this kind of conversation. Let's get into it. Before we get into the 9 things, let's set the picture clearly. When we say tough man, we are not talking about an emotionally unavailable person who treats people badly and calls it strength. That is not strength. That is unhealed pain wearing a tough face. That we are talking about the man who has genuinely been through things, who carries real responsibility, who has been the strong one for so long that he doesn't even remember what it felt like to not be the strong one. The man who shows up for everyone else and has no one who shows up for him in the same way. The man who is too proud to ask for help and too exhausted to keep pretending he doesn't need it. That man exists everywhere, in almost every family, every community, every social circle. And the SpicyLady-Sigma, without trying to, without planning it, often without even knowing it, does something for that man that almost no one else in his life has ever been able to do. She becomes the one place that feels safe, the one presence that feels real, the one relationship that doesn't require him to perform his strength every single minute. 9 things. Let's go. Thing number 1. She gives him space to be soft without calling it weakness. Tough men carry something most people in their lives never fully see or understand. Not just external responsibilities, or the heavy pressure of bearing every burden on strong shoulders. They carry the quiet, exhausting weight of never being allowed to be anything other than strong. They are forced to be the steady wall everyone leans on at all times, holding everything together for so long that they forget what it feels like to let their guard down, even for a second, even in private. This quiet exhaustion settles deep in their bones, forged from a lifetime of believing strength is the only acceptable version of themselves to offer the world. Then the SpicyLady-Sigma walks into his life, no fanfare, no agenda. She doesn't show up with a rescue plan, no emotional healing speech, no therapeutic framework to force him to process his pain. She simply exists beside him, warm, grounded, authentic, and completely unpressuring. She doesn't stare at him in waiting silence like he's got an emotional test to pass. She doesn't manufacture intimate moments to force vulnerability out of him on her timeline. She never makes emotional openness a requirement for her presence. She just lives freely and authentically next to him, asking for nothing he isn't ready to give. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, something in him thaws. He starts speaking quiet truths he's never shared, admitting burdens he's carried alone for years. He softens in small, safe ways because she never makes softness feel dangerous. She never labels his vulnerability as weakness. She never pities him, never reacts with shock, never makes him regret opening up. She simply receives his truth calmly, holds it gently, and keeps moving forward. For a man who spent his whole life hiding his soft, honest side. This quiet, uncomplicated grace is the rarest gift another person can give. Most of the time, the spicy Lady Sigma doesn't even realize the life-changing safety she's providing. Thing number 2. She tells him the truth when everyone else only tells him what he wants to hear. Tough men are almost always surrounded by agreement. It's not that the people in their lives are dishonest or fake. It's the natural byproduct of their quiet, undeniable authority. When someone has always been the capable, reliable one who handles everything, people hesitate to challenge them, push back, or speak hard truths. Everyone validates his choices, confirms his perspective, and agrees with his judgments, even when they privately see flaws in his plans. At first, this feels like respect, trust, and validation. But over time, it becomes a dangerous trap that a man who is never challenged stops growing. He starts believing the one-sided, perfect version of himself everyone mirrors back to him. He builds his confidence on others' approval instead of honest self-awareness, stunting his most important growth. The spicy Lady Sigma breaks this cycle entirely. She's not contrarian by nature, nor does she want to humble him or dim his confidence. She simply cannot fake agreement or perform niceness over honesty. She speaks truth calmly, gently, and directly, always with underlying respect, because she truly believes he is strong enough to handle reality. She points out flaws in his proud plans, corrects his biased self-narratives, and offers full, honest perspectives when everyone else sugarcoats and validates. He might resist it at first. He's not used to honest pushback. But her truth lands differently. It stays with him because it's right. In the quiet aftermath, he realizes what a rare gift this is. Someone who cares enough about his growth to be honest instead of comfortable. For a man drowning in empty agreement, her truthful care is priceless. Thing number 3. She doesn't try to fix him. She stays while he fixes himself. Tough men have spent their lives enduring conditional care disguised as love. Most people who love them show up with a hidden agenda, a personal improvement plan. They gently push him to be more open, more communicative, more vulnerable, more emotionally available. And no matter how well-intentioned, this energy always feels the same. Who he is right now is not enough. Love is reserved for the future, better version of himself, while his present self is just a rough draft waiting to be revised. The spicy Lady Sigma does none of this. She doesn't catalog his flaws, plan out his growth trajectory, or accept his present self while secretly waiting for him to change. She loves him fully, exactly as he is in this moment, complete, human, and enough, regardless of his unhealed parts and unfinished growth. She never pressures him to advance faster, never ties her presence to his progress, never makes him feel like he's falling short. There are no hidden conditions, no unspoken expectations, no growth ultimatums. This unconditional safety triggers genuine, voluntary growth in him that pressure never could. Freed from the need to perform perfection or meet someone else's standards, he starts honestly examining his own patterns, asking hard questions, and making changes for himself. She never fixes him. She never lectures him. She simply stays steady and accepts him wholly. And that quiet safety is the exact foundation he needs to heal and grow on his own terms, in his own time. This passive, patient love changes him more than any forced intervention ever could. Spicy Lady Sigma, if these first 3 points resonate deeply with you, drop a comment down below right now. Hit the like button to help this video reach more unapologetic, authentic women like you across the world. Let's keep going. Thing number 4. She loves without conditions, steady, unshaken. No drama. Tough men are conditioned to expect conditional love. Every relationship they've known has come with invisible rules. Love is warm and present when they're perfect, distant and cold when they fall short. That they've experienced love that weaponizes their vulnerabilities during arguments, threatens abandonment to control their behavior, and vanishes when times get hard. They've learned that closeness never equals safety, that opening up always leaves them exposed to hurt. To protect themselves, they keep emotional distance, mask their true feelings, and constantly calculate if they're performing well enough to keep being loved. Then the spicy Lady Sigma arrives, and she rewrites every rule he's ever known. Her love isn't grand or performative. It's consistent, daily, and unremarkable in the best way. She shows up the same on his worst, messiest days as she does on his best, happiest ones. She never weaponizes his past vulnerabilities, never uses abandonment as leverage, never grows cold when he's difficult to love. She loves freely without demanding gratitude, reciprocity, or perfect emotional performance in return. At first, he waits for the catch. He waits for the conditions to appear, for the love to withdraw when he messes up. But it never happens. Slowly, he lets his guard fall. He stops calculating, stops protecting, stops overthinking. For the first time in his life, he experiences safe, unconditional love. All because the spicy Lady Sigma chooses steady, real authenticity over dramatic, conditional affection. Thing number 5. She reads him perfectly without him ever having to speak. Tough men do not do vulnerability openly. A lifetime of conditioning teaches them that showing emotion is weakness, that pain must be hidden, that struggle must be carried silently. They bury their feelings so deeply that sometimes they can't even name what they're feeling themselves, that they'll say, "I'm fine," 1,000 times while carrying quiet exhaustion, stress, and hurt that lingers beneath the surface. They can't explain their unease, and they'd never dare try to. The spicy Lady Sigma doesn't need an explanation. She feels energy, reads subtle shifts, and notices tiny, unguarded changes no one else picks up on. She sees past his forced laughter, his quiet demeanor, and his fine act. She recognizes the difference between his genuine calm and his masked exhaustion. But she never puts him on the spot, never demands he open up, never forces him to explain himself before he's ready. Instead, she loves him softly through the silence. She sits with him quietly, brings him comfort, and creates a safe space where he can speak or stay silent. Both options are completely okay. He never has to perform visibility for her. He never has to beg to be seen. She simply sees him fully and clearly. This quiet, intuitive recognition is one of the most irreplaceable gifts the spicy Lady Sigma gives to a lonely, overstrong man. Thing number 6. She never uses his vulnerability against him. This is the most sacred, impactful trait of all, even if he will never say it out loud. When a tough man finally lets his walls down and shares his hidden fears, his pain, and his weaknesses, he's taking an enormous risk. He's handing someone his most fragile, unprotected self. Most people in his life would weaponize that vulnerability during fights, share it with others, or hold it over his head to make him feel small and weak. Once that trust is broken, it can never be fully repaired. The spicy Lady Sigma would never do this. It's not a forced loyalty or a deliberate promise. It's her core nature. She understands exactly how much courage it takes for a guarded man to open up. She knows how rare and precious his hidden truth is, and she guards it fiercely. Even during brutal conflicts, even when she has every opportunity to use his vulnerabilities to win an argument or hurt him back, she never touches them. She keeps his private struggles private, safe and sacred between them. He notices this. He always notices. This unshakable trustworthiness makes her the safest person he's ever loved. For a man who's always had to protect his softness from being exploited, her loyalty is life-changing. She's the closest thing to an angel he'll ever know, simply because she protects his heart when no one else ever has. We're halfway through. Spicy Lady Sigma. If this is hitting home for you, share this video with another authentic, unapologetic woman who needs to see her true impact. Subscribe for more honest, deep talks. Let's finish strong. Thing number 7. She pushes him to grow better, not by nagging, but by example. Tough men hate being told what to do. It's not stubbornness. It's the result of a lifetime of relying only on their own judgment. They've always been the problem solver, the leader, the one who figures everything out alone. Being lectured or directed by others triggers their need to resist, even if the advice is good. The spicy Lady Sigma understands this instinctively. She never nags, never lectures, never nitpicks his flaws, never pressures him to follow her personal growth timeline. Instead, she grows quietly for herself. She works on her mindset, her habits, and her discipline privately. No performance, no fanfare, no attention seeking. She lives with intention, integrity, and high personal standards simply because that's who she is. He watches her steadily, unconsciously. Over time, her consistent, authentic growth inspires him. He starts reading more, reflecting deeper, showing up for himself and breaking old stagnant habits. Not because she told him to, but because her example makes staying stuck feel like a choice. She never says a word about improving him. She just lives as her best self. And that quiet inspiration shifts his entire life more than any lecture ever could. Thing number 8. She walks away cleanly when it's not right. The most honest gift she gives him, this one sounds counterintuitive, but it's one of the most powerful truths on this list. Most people leave relationships messy. They create drama, explode in anger, list every mistake their partner made, and linger in orbits to keep hurting, clinging, and manipulating closure. They leave to destabilize, to punish, and to keep their ex emotionally tied to them. The Spicy Lady Sigma does the exact opposite. When a relationship runs its course, when honest effort proves it can't be fixed, she leaves cleanly, calmly, and respectfully. No drama, no blame game, no cruel final words, no lingering mixed signals. She cares for him still, but she honors the truth of the situation. She leaves completely, no circling back, no fake closure requests, no emotional string pulling. She moves on genuinely, allowing both of them to heal fully. For a tough man used to messy, bitter, traumatic endings, this clean, graceful departure is revolutionary. It teaches him a vital lesson. Self-respect doesn't equal cruelty, and love doesn't require clinging. That he learns that real love honors truth over comfort and integrity over attachment. She leaves him better than she found him. Not by staying when it was broken, but by leaving the right way, setting a standard for healthy love and respect he carries with him forever. Thing number 9. She carries him in her heart quietly. Even after it's over, this is the quietest, most underrated superpower of the Spicy Lady Sigma. When she truly loves someone, that love doesn't vanish when the relationship ends. It doesn't switch off because circumstances change or things don't work out. Her love is genuine, rooted in deep seeing and true care, not convenience, not attachment, not obligation. Long after the breakup, in the quiet, unguarded moments no one witnesses, she still hopes for his peace, his healing, and his growth. She never posts about it, never tells anyone, never reaches out for credit or closure. She simply holds good intentions for him silently, expecting absolutely nothing in return. No acknowledgement, no gratitude, no contact, no reciprocity. For a tough man who's used to people forgetting him completely once they leave, this quiet, unconditional care is profound. To be seen fully, loved genuinely, and carried softly in someone's heart even after parting is the purest form of angelic love. She never needs him to know. She never needs praise. She just loves deeply, quietly, and purely. It's simply who the Spicy Lady Sigma is. Point 9 traits. All real, all unfiltered, Spicy Lady Sigma. Which one of these resonated with you the most? Which one made you see your own quiet, powerful impact for the first time? Drop your answer in the comments. This community thrives on your honest truth. Now, let's wrap this up with the full, honest picture. The Spicy Lady Sigma is not perfect. She's not a saint. She's human. She's made relationship mistakes, acted out of hurt, stayed too long in bad situations, and walked away from good ones. She's flawed, complicated, and imperfect just like everyone else. But what makes her extraordinary is this. She offers tough men a kind of love and safety almost no one else can. She gives them space to be soft without shame, truth without cruelty, growth without pressure, love without conditions, visibility without performance, and trust without exploitation. She inspires greatness through her own life, leaves with grace, and loves quietly and purely even after endings. She doesn't do this to be memorable, to be irreplaceable, or to play the hero. She does it because this is simply her authentic nature. This is how she loves, how she shows up, how she lives, and how she cares. Any tough man who has ever been loved by a Spicy Lady Sigma will eventually realize the rarity of what he received. Slowly, in the quiet hours after she's gone, he understands. She gave him safety, honesty, freedom, and unconditional care that no one else ever has. He may never say it out loud. He may never thank her. The world may never recognize her quiet sacrifice and kindness. But every single part of the love she gave him was real, and it changed him forever. That if this video gave words to the quiet power you hold as a spicy Lady Sigma, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with every authentic woman who needs to recognize her own worth and impact. Remember to hit the thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. See you in the next video. God bless.